This is the perfect guitar to buy someone for Christmas. It's perfect for beginners, it's perfect for advanced players, and it's perfect for anyone, quite frankly, that just enjoys looking at guitars. If you want a guitar for Christmas and you want to hint to your significant other something that they could buy you, which won't cost the earth, £139 incidentally. Not expensive, cheap, affordable, definitely Christmas present money. Make sure you watch this video on your telly, put it on loud so that they don't miss it, and drop a few hints. Just imagine it, Christmas Day, best Christmas present ever. Unless you wanted the bike, I suppose. Let's go on with it. Hello, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. The run up to Christmas time thing, trees up. I've got a present. I've got a present to share with you today. This is probably the perfect guitar as a Christmas present that you could buy someone for Christmas or receive as a Christmas present. So this is for everyone. This is for all you guitar nerds out there. If you want a guitar for Christmas and you want to hint to your significant other something that they could buy you, which won't cost the earth, £139 incidentally. Not expensive, cheap, affordable, definitely Christmas present money. It's doable. Make sure you watch this video on your telly, on the YouTube app on the telly, big 4K. Put it on loud so that they don't miss it, and drop a few hints, okay, as we take a closer look at this. And if you are a significant, sorry, I'm going to do that bit again. If you are a significant other and you're catching a bit of this and you think, oh, that'd be a nice surprise, just search for the Guitaristas later on when him or her or they have gone out, and you can look up this video and all the links to where to buy this are below. Okay. Now, sorry, I'm not trying to sell you anything. Okay, this is just an idea. I'm trying to help you. I'm not going to earn anything if you buy this, because I bought this for £139, and I bought this because I think, do you know what? This is the perfect guitar to buy someone for Christmas. So I'm going to tell you why, of course. What we're going to do is we're going to open it, we're going to see what it is, and then I'm going to tell you why it's perfect for beginners, it's perfect for advanced players, and it's perfect for anyone, quite frankly, that just enjoys looking at guitars. So we'll open it, and then we'll go through it, and we'll talk about it a lot more probably, and we'll see what it's set up like, see if you can play it straight away out of the box, and we'll plug it in and see what it sounds like and all that other stuff, okay? So first thing we'll do is open it. Timestamps are all in the description box, okay? It's too late to skip forward to the opening because that's going to happen in about 10 seconds. But if you want to skip forward to anything else at any time, all the timestamps are in the description box, so you can do that. Let's get on with it, or it'll be Christmas. Right, here we go. Let's open it. Just imagine it. Christmas Day, best Christmas present ever. Unless you wanted the bike, I suppose. Let's go on with it. I can't remember which way it is. It's a Squier. Well, Santa Caesar up there is not happy. A Squier? That's not expensive enough. No, it's not. It's cheap, Caesar. Right, the butter knife of joy is needed. Here we go. That's what we're calling it now. The butter knife of joy. It's blunt, by the way, but it should be able to handle this packing tape okay. Yeah, just like a knife through butter. I'm a bit excited today, obviously. And I know what's in there. That's mad, isn't it? Here we go. A bit of cardboard on top. Guess what it is? Well, you probably, if you've read the description, already know anyway, won't you? You've spotted it for yourselves. Here we go. It's your normal Squier Allen wrenches. Let's get it out of the bag, quick as we can. Ta-da! It is a Squier Sonic Mustang. This is the Sonic Mustang. It's cool, isn't it? Come on, you've got to admit it. You go, oh yeah, that's cool. Perfect for beginners, perfect for inters, perfect for pros, perfect for non-players. Hang it on the wall and look at it. It's a very cool guitar. I'm going to just going to get the stand and let's talk about it, find out a little bit more about it. So this is the Sonic range, is Squier's entry-level guitars. It's their cheapest. And I think this is probably their cheapest model, the Mustang. And I've raved about these before. I've reviewed the predecessor of the Sonic was the Bullet, but they've recently changed the name from Bullet to Sonic. I don't think they've actually changed the guitar, just the name. But to all intents and purposes, this particular style of guitar, this design, has pretty much been in production on and off since it was first launched in 1956, I believe. When at that point, the first version of this, I think, was called the Duo Sonic, and then it became the Mustang and the Duo Sonic 2. This, of course, is called the Sonic Mustang. So there's a kind of a connection there, isn't there? I'm not sure if that's why they've done it, but it adds up, doesn't it? So yeah, it's got a lot of history to it, I suppose. It's got a lot of history to it, which is one of the reasons why this is a cool guitar. But just one of the reasons, of course. Lots of others. What we'll do is we'll talk about them, and of course we'll have a close look at the guitar and we'll hear it. First of all, you'll want to know where you can get it. Well, you can pretty much get them anywhere. The best thing for you to do is Google Squier Sonic Mustang, and it will show you where in your area you can get them and how much they cost. I've done a little bit of research today in terms of colours. This particular one, so there's two types. Okay, here you go. Squier Sonic Mustang comes in two different main types. There's probably more, but single coil pickups, which they call the SS, and it comes in also a dual humbucker version. I'll show you what that looks like. It looks a bit like this. This is actually the Bullet, the predecessor of the Sonic here, with a competition stripe, but two humbuckers. So that's what the humbucker version looks like, in case you need to know that. In case your significant other says, oh, I'd like one of them, but with humbuckers, that's what a humbucker looks like. According to Fender's website today, this single coil version is available in this Torino red and a two-colour sunburst. The humbucker version in California blue or flash pink. There are also two limited edition colours only available from the Fender website, a green and a black. Although I wouldn't be surprised at all if there are lots of other different limited edition colours available in different places and in the future. So keep your eye out, because there's been lots of interesting stuff. I mean, I got this graffiti yellow version way back, remember? As you can see, I've still got another two versions of this guitar, so I'm definitely putting my money where my mouth is. For someone like me, it's just a great little fun knockabout guitar. Something to have kicking around by the bed, in the TV room, so you can just sort of grab it, you know, whenever. It's cheap, it's light. Let's weigh it and see how light. Here we go. £6 7 ounces, which is of course 2.92 kilograms. So yeah, very easy to pick up and throw around. These are also great platforms for modifications. This is my graffiti yellow one where I changed the pickups. I made a film about this. I spent more on the pickups than I did on the actual guitar. These are Seymour Duncan Fat Cat P90 style humbuckers that we put in here. I'll put a link to the film. There's the thumbnail. I'll put a link to the film in the description box. So there's that modification thing. For people like myself that have probably got loads of guitars, this is still appreciated for what it is, for its simplicity. And, you know, you can muck around with it. You can take a few screws out, get to all the electronics, muck around with it, experiment. You won't break it. Well, if you do, you can learn how to fix it, and that's fun. And for beginners, it really doesn't get any better than this, and I'll tell you why. We've already established it's lightweight, so kids can handle this no problem. Very, very tough finish, very tough design and build. So you'd have to try very hard to break it, honestly. And it's what they call a short scale. It's a full-size guitar, but the scale length is slightly smaller than your average Fender or Gibson guitar. So this is a 24-inch scale length, makes it slightly easier on the old fingering and a little bit slinkier on the strings. So a little bit easier on those sensitive fingers when you start out. So this is a perfect guitar for beginners, and it comes strung with 9-gauge strings. Beginner strings, definitely. Great starter out guitar. I wish I'd had this when I started. I had something that looked vaguely like it, but in reality was nothing like it. Okay, let's get into a little bit more nerdy detail and look at some specs. The body on this is made out of poplar, and it's got a very tough polyurethane finish. The neck is maple, and it's got a lovely satin finish. Beautiful feeling neck. And it's got a nice profile. Feels like a really nice medium C profile. Let's have a look at the neck measurements and profile up on the screen now. Okay, here's the neck profile and measurements at the 1st fret. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. So that should work well enough for everyone. It's got narrow, tall frets. That's what they call these. We'll have a closer look at those in a second once I've taken the strings off. The nut, I think, is synthetic bone. Headstock is the traditional Fender Mustang headstock, isn't it? Which, of course, is the right headstock. Squier by Fender. It's got what they call Fender sealed tuners. They're called sealed gear tuners is what they actually call them, which are obviously on the cheaper side, but do the job as far as we know. We'll have played it in a little while, so we'll circle back to that and we'll see if the tuners are any good. But there you go. 2 string trees there, all very typical. It's got a top loading 6 saddle, fully adjustable bridge for intonation. Once we put some strings on, I will check the intonation, and if it needs adjusting, I will show how I do that, on the assumption that there might be some beginners looking at this now. So what we will do is we'll restring it and we'll put some new strings on. No, that's the same thing, isn't it? We'll restring it and then we'll tune it up and set it up if it needs any setup. Because I don't know, I think the action does look a little bit high actually. So we'll adjust that before we plug it in, which will be soon. And don't forget, there are timestamps if you need them. So there's that. 2 single coil pickups, ceramic single coil Squier by Fender pickups. Let's take some readings. This is the moment of truth because I haven't actually even seen if it works yet. Here we go. Let's start with the bridge ceramic pickup. 11.94 kilo ohms. Blimey. Is that right? Wow, that's what I'd call hot. And that's 3.30 Henrys. Okay. Neck, 12.12 kilo ohms with the inductance of 3.25 Henrys. Wow. Middle reading, 6.17. Interesting to see what they sound like, won't it? So what we normally do at this point is just have a closer look at the fret job and how well finished the ends are. I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect it to be as good as this. You can normally feel the ends, sharpness, some kind of sharpness. No, they're very subtly rounded. Well, it just goes to show how much the quality of cheap, isn't it? It's a cheap guitar. How much the quality of a cheap guitars has come on leaps and bounds in recent years. They're getting so good at making guitars offshore. I tend to not be too specific about where guitars are made. Offshore is outside the USA, basically, isn't it? But you know, the main places are China, obviously, and Indonesia and Korea. This happens to be made in China. And their craftsmanship is, until you look at the screws, which are wonky, actually. I spoke to, I just like, notice the screws. Yeah, it's always worth looking at the screws because they tend to rush that. I don't know why. Yeah, let's get the screwdriver and have a look at some wonky screws. I'll just bring this one straight out so you can see. I mean, it's not too bad, but it is wonky. So is this one. It's kind of a shame because once a screw's on the piss, yeah, I don't know if the camera will pick that up properly. It's a bit at Leaning Tower of Pisa. What was I saying? Once a screw's on the piss, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't really correct it. Well, I'm sure someone will tell me you can, but I don't know how to. Here we go. So the beautiful simplicity of these guitars, if you want to muck around with the wiring, is the control panel comes off separately, as you can see. So this is where the cheaper components start to reveal themselves with these little mini pots. I can't tell you what this brand is because I don't recognize it myself. But there you go. They might, of course, work perfectly fine, but we always sneer a little bit at mini pots, don't we, chaps? There you go. That's what that looks like in there. And nice and neat, no shielding or anything of any sort. And then main scratch plate. Oh, there you go. That's what that looks like in the cavity. Big old, Oh, I'll tell you what's very interesting about this. This is obviously exactly the same body as the twin humbucker version. So you could very easily mod this for either double humbuckers or a single humbucker. Just get a different scratch plate. Simple as that. There you go. Big old magnets on the bottom of these pickups. There you go. Yeah, it's all cheap stuff, but I'm sure it all works perfectly well, and we're going to find out very shortly. But a brilliant platform to muck around. Change all that if you want to. Let's screw all that back up, put some strings on, and then I shall return and we'll see if it needs setting up, okay? Right, okay, so I'm in a little danger of shooting myself in the foot here, because as it turns out, this guitar, this particular guitar, needed a little bit of fettling to set it up, to get it playing the way that I like. So basically, one of these scrub screws on the bridge was rattling. The action was way too high. The truss rod needed tweaking, and this bridge is a bit fussy in stringing it up. So I filmed quite a lot of stuff, but it's a bit dull, to be honest with you. It's about a 10 or 15 minute section of me showing you, if you need to know, how to set this up for playing. And we had a look at the intonation as well. So what I've done, I didn't want to include it in this film because it is honestly, it's a bit dull. So I've put it as an extra on the TV channel. There's the address, guitaristas.tv. Go there and check it out if you need to. If you need to know how to do this stuff, you know, truss rod adjustment. It's only basic. I mean, it's only a basic tutorial I'm doing. I'm just showing you how as I do it. But it might help if you don't know anything about that. If you don't know how to adjust the action or why you'd even need to, check that out. And then, of course, if you've got any further questions, you can ask me on there. Well, I mean, you can ask me on YouTube anyway. I'll always try and answer questions. You know that. We should know that. But go and check that out. There's a 30-day free offer still on the TV channel, so it won't cost you anything unless you think it's worth hanging around and paying your $5 a month thereafter to be part of the gang, the inner circle of guitaristas, over there on the TV channel, where there's loads of extra stuff. And I can post stuff like, you know, boring stuff like setting up guitars without the YouTube algorithm punishing me, okay? So go and check that out if you want to. It's all done now. It's got a new set of Ernie Ball regular slinkers on it. And this is what it sounds like unplugged. It sounds nice, actually. No rattles or anything now. Right, so we're plugged in today to the Princeton 65, as always. I've got a soul food and a rat on the pedal board, and I'll show you if I use them. As for now, no pedals at all. This is just the guitar, volume and tone on 10. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Sounds really nice, doesn't it? That was the bridge pickup. What I just discovered then while I was playing is that the volume control, well, it didn't really work, to be honest with you. Look. Yeah, so what I was saying about mini pots, yeah, that's rubbish. It's kind of on or off, which was a shame because I was trying to turn it down while I was playing. I managed to get just on the edge of off, and it was a bit quieter. Look. And the tone, I think, is the same. Yeah, it could be better. I rest my case. It sounds nice, doesn't it? It sounds like a proper guitar to me. You know, £139. I don't think you'd know it by listening to it, would you? You just wouldn't. And it plays great now. You know, I had to fiddle with it a little bit, granted, a little bit more than I'd expected. It's rare actually to have to do that stuff, but yeah, if you wanna go through the setup with me, check out the TV channel. It's all over there. You can get a month for free, so go and have a see what I did to it. But it needed a little bit of tweaking. But I mean, I don't think that takes anything away from it at all. It's a cheap guitar and it's come a long way. And as we know, the shops, you know, they can't possibly set these things up. This is as it came out of the factory in the other side of the world in a different climate. So things are gonna shake around a little bit. This was probably the worst one I've ever had, which is quite ironic. But all it needed was, you know, the tools came with it. It just needed a little bit of tweaking, which of course you know how to do that, don't you? You know, most of us are experienced. The beginners, it's part of the learning curve. So it's a brilliant guitar to learn on. As I said in the film, you can't break it. You can't do anything wrong. So, yeah, I'm still fully behind this guitar. I think it's great. The tone and volume controls were rubbish, quite frankly. But do you know what I was thinking? You know, if it's designed for beginners, personally, I actually don't think I used the tone and volume control on a guitar for about 30 years. And then it's only recently that I've discovered them, actually. So don't worry about that. Leave them on 10, play away. Sounds great. Great. Particularly the bridge pickup. But it sounded nice. And that was all straight into the amp. Clean. It wasn't, you know, you expect cheap pickups to be piss weak, but they're not. I don't know. It'd be interesting to compare what we know to be good pickups with these, wouldn't it? Which would be dead easy to do, wouldn't it? You know, whack some in, see what they sound like, take them out again if they don't sound as good as these, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised if these stood up against some good ones. There is a thing about ceramic magnet pickups anyway, is they can, you know, they can sound pretty tasty, and I think these support that claim. Anyway, what else? Frets, amazing. No buzzing, as you heard. I did, you know, I'll be honest with you, I did have to tweak the truss rod a bit as well because there was a little bit too much relief in the neck. That's all in the setup film. And it's pretty flat now, almost flat. And there's no buzzing out at all, no fretting out anywhere. It looks good, and they're nice and, well, they call these narrow tall frets, but they're quite chunky. And the tuning stability was, well, as you heard, you know, great. Well, I hope that. I hope so, because you never know. You know, tomorrow I'll listen to that back and I go, oh, it sounds out of tune. You never know. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes I think, oh, it sounds great. Tomorrow. And that's the trouble. Once you start thinking is that one? You go, oh, don't go there. You just have to ignore it. I think it was all right. Tuning stability was great. It really was. So yeah, cracking little guitar to my collection. One I didn't show you earlier was the original. Where have I put it? Hang on. It was leaning by the Christmas tree earlier. This is a 1965 Duo Sonic 2. So part of the heritage there. Hello. I think that's it. Hopefully that's helped you if you're planning to buy an electric guitar for someone for Christmas as a surprise. That was the point of this. I know there'll be loads of people that say, oh no, I would like a Kramer Beretta or whatever, completely different style. But they're all quite distinctive things. You know, not everyone would like a Kramer Barretta. That's the point. That's a picture of it. Whereas I don't think there's anyone that wouldn't appreciate this. That's the whole point of this film. I'm not saying this is the perfect guitar for everyone, but this is it's a safe present. It's safe. You'll be appreciated for it, all the more for it. I'm sure you're appreciated already. So if you're looking over your other half's shoulder, here you go. I'll put some links in the description box. I'm not, affiliate. I'm not going to lead you to a particular dealer. The best thing to do, as I said earlier, is Google Squier Sonic Mustang, and you find out where they are close to you or online close to you and how much they cost. This model is selling for £139 in the UK. And it sort of fluctuates, but it's around about that. But whatever, it's not an expensive guitar, and it's a great thing to have. And I've got 4 now. I've got 3 Squiers and 1 Fender, so I don't know what I'm going to do with them all. There you go. That's it for this week. I hope that's been something. I've enjoyed myself anyway. So come back next week. Let's do it all again. Same time, same place. I look forward to your company. All right. Cheers for now. Ta-da.